Asked me to give my thoughts about how Africans basically started slavery and the fact that the Europeans came into Africa and enslaved us by force is a myth. Well, this is just something that you come across in the history of a lot of people. It's a divide and conquer technique. It's not just the Africans who enslaved Africans, it's Native Americans who turned on Native Americans in favor of the Europeans. You got to understand, just because Africa is a huge continent, Africa is made up of thousands and thousands of different tribes. And before the European came to enslave them, these tribes had conflict with each other and they hated each other. And some of those conflicts are even still going on till this day in Africa. So, of course, when the Europeans came, they didn't enslave anybody by force. They partnered up with a certain tribe. They gave them weapons. They gave them resources. And slavery was already going on in Africa. Tribes would enslave the women from other tribes that they didn't like. They would enslave the youth and make them be their workers. That's just what was going on. And the Europeans caught on to this, and they would hook up with certain tribes, provide them with resources, and basically sponsor them. And that tribe would go catch slaves and give them to the European by sale. They were buying these slaves from these tribes, or they were exchanging weapons and stuff like that. And with the Native Americans, when the Europeans came, they partnered up with certain Native American tribes that hate other Native American tribes, gave them gunpowder, gave them guns, and made it easier for them to win a war that was going on before the Europeans came. So the Europeans gave the Native Americans weapons and things like that. Therefore, that group had more resources than their enemy, and they could slaughter their enemy with these new rifles, something that's never been introduced to, the New World, because only the Europeans had them. They brought them over, and that's just how it went. Look, you be friends with one group and get them to attack the other groups. That's how slavery started. That's how the Native Americans were wiped out. They did it themselves. Somebody came in. There was already hatred, and it just manipulated and benefited from the hatred. That's why it's important to stay united.